again, everyone. I'm Chris Lincoln, your host for ESPN's weekly recap of horse racing, the Racehorse Digest. Well, let's get right to the track. This past Sunday's feature in New York is Belmont Park held its opening weekend of racing for its 33-day fall meeting. It's the Grade 1 Gazelle Handicap, 3-year-old fillies at 1 1/8 on a fast track, $200,000 in the purse. Let's meet the field of 7. The closing odds presented by Las Vegas. Everybody putting their money on the 4. Run Up the Colors, the Alabama Grade 1 Stakes winner, going for a 6th straight win with Jerry Bailey. Rounding out the field on the outside, Royal Indy at 6-1. Tom Durkin calls the Grade 1 Gazelle at Belmont Park.
And they're off. Raining Rainbows goes directly to the lead. Royal Indy has speed on the far outside. Pearl City with speed as well. And in between horses, it's Valid Bonnet. Run Up the Colors takes a position in behind the lead, is angled over inside. She's running a bit awkwardly as they made the switch over from the chute onto the main track. To the outside of Run Up the Colors, and Bailey's getting into her a little bit early. Moving past goes Panama Canal, and it's a break of another 5 back to Starry Dreamer, who trails the field. They continue up the backstretch. It's Royal Indy who has a short lead over Raining Rainbows. Pearl City reserved in behind them. Valid Bonnet takes to the outside, and then it's Panama Canal about 4 lengths from the lead. Run Up the Colors has settled down now about 5 lengths from the leaders with 5 furlongs to go. The opening half went in 46 2/5 seconds. Around the turn now. Pearl City has come on through between horses. There goes Pearl City to engage Raining Rainbows for the lead. Royal Indy on the outside. Just in behind, Valid Bonnet. On the outside, Panama Canal. And Run Up the Colors is called on for her run with 3 furlongs to go. She's still about 4.5 lengths from the lead. They're coming to the top of the stretch. Pearl City surrounded by challengers. Royal Indy to her outside. To her inside, Raining Rainbows. Just in behind Panama Canal. Valid Bonnet looking for a way out. Run Up the Colors still struggling a bit. She's still got a lot left to do. And time is running out. They're down to the final furlong now. And it's Royal Indy who is the leader. Royal Indy now in front. Here comes Starry Dreamer. And she is flying on the outside. Pearl City toward the rail. It is Royal Indy in front. Pearl City and a late running Starry Dreamer under the line. Royal Indy is won.
It's an upset in the Gazelle as Royal Indy, the 3-year-old daughter of former Horse of the Year A.P. Indy, makes her Grade 1 Stakes debut, a winning one by 2 lengths. Owned and bred by Georgia Hoffman in Kentucky, the filly has Hall of Fame connections in her trainer Alan Jerkins and her rider Pat Day. Take a look now at the full order of finish for the Gazelle, from Royal Indy down to the disappointment, Run Up the Colors. The win streak is over. Run Up the Colors finishing next to last. The Racehorse Digest is brought to you by the American Quarter Horse Association, serving the American quarter horse racing industry and America's horse. By Necoderm CQ Stop Smoking Patch. You bring a commitment, CQ brings the rest. Alan and Madeline Paulson's Brookside Farms. And by the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority. Get away from the ordinary and discover the extraordinary Las Vegas. Call your travel agent today.
Sweet dreams from Doubletree.
Theatrical, Breeders' Cup Turf Champion. Theatrical, Eclipse Champion. Theatrical, the sire of 12 Grade 1 winners around the world. In 1996, he sired more Grade 1 winners than any sire in North America. And they included Irish Derby winner Zagreb, Oaklawn Handicap winner Jerry, and Portland Player, a classic winner in Australia. Theatrical at Brookside Farms for Sales, Kentucky.
Brooks Brothers' latest eyewear. Tailored in about an hour. At LensCrafters, the Brooks Brothers event. On now at LensCrafters.
This was a large, medium, and small pizza. Now, Little Caesars says this is a large, medium, and small. Will everything get bigger? Little Caesar's new Big Pizzas dwarf the competition. Small $5.99, medium $7.99, large $9.99.
Bigger.
Harness racing and the internet, an information super raceway where the sport comes alive through technology. A computer and access to the internet bring harness racing to your fingertips. Race entries and results from tracks throughout the U.S. Important news items, special coverage of major events, the best of Hoofbeats magazine, multimedia, and email. Plus links to sites around the harness racing world are yours free. Point, click, enjoy harness racing. Visit the United States Trotting Association site on the web today.
The $1.6 million All-American Futurity grabbed the headlines in quarter horse racing last week, but it was not the only important race on the Labor Day weekend card. Here's a chance for us all to catch up. As part of their closing Labor Day weekend, Ruidoso Downs presented the $261,000 All-American Derby, featuring the Jack Brooks train entry of Dashing Perfection and Rare King.
They're off. Dashing Perfection, closest to the grandstand side, away very alertly. Royal Shake'em comes out in the second spot. Gridiron Special is third. Rare King fourth. Here comes Divine Wind, picking them up, laying them down. Out here, though, it will be Dashing Perfection. Royal Shake'em, they're on the line together in the All-American Derby.
Dashing Perfection roars down the outside, capturing the All-American Derby over a very game Royal Shake'em. Dashing Perfection now eligible for the $300,000 Champion of Champions in December. Winner Jack Brooks scored his third All-American Derby win with Dashing Perfection, owned by Oklahoman Bob Moore. Jockey Jackie Martin, a six-time winner of the All-American Futurity. This was his first time into the winner's circle of the All-American Derby. Los Alamitos in Southern California now, the latest regional event in the MBNA America Racing Challenge. Win a lot of cash to pick.
And away they go in the AQHA California Challenge Championship and win a lot of cash. Fearless Frida down along the inside. He's a Ramblin' Man's now putting in a strong run. Win a lot of cash on the outside. It's going to have to get to He's a Ramblin' Man. And Fearless Frida's right there. Win a lot of cash on the far outside. He's a Ramblin' Man's running up. Powerful one. He's a Ramblin' Man. Win a lot of cash. And it's Win a lot of cash winning over He's a Ramblin' Man.
Win a lot of cash scores his second straight victory since joining the barn of the nation's leading quarter horse trainer, Blaine Schwanevelt. The 4-year-old now occupies the second spot in the all-time quarter horse earnings, behind only the legendary Refrigerator. Win a lot of cash ridden here by Joe Padilla Jr. for owners Jamie and Andrew Meredith. His next engagement, the Los Alamitos Championship in October, then the $250,000 MBNA America Racing Challenge Championship November 1st. Let's go to South Texas now. Last year's challenge champion, Cool Q Baby, out to make it 9 straight wins at Sam Houston Race Sparky's number 3.
They're on their way in the Sam Houston Classic. J.H. passing double away well on the inside with 2 tidy some. Center of the racetrack, there goes Streakin' O'Toole. Streakin' O'Toole has a nose in front. Lawyer La Jolla on the outside, almost Gold Coast. Cool Q Baby still has some running to do. Streakin' O'Toole with the lead in the center of the racetrack. Lawyer La Jolla coming after her. Lawyer La Jolla on the outside, wins it by a head.
Lawyer La Jolla and jockey Alvin Brosette pull the upset on Cool Q Baby, and Streakin' O'Toole was also previously unbeaten at Sam Houston. The 5-year-old Lawyer La Jolla is owned by A.J. Shaw Jr., trained by one of the nation's leading conditioners, Steve Van Bever. Reminder, for more information on quarter horse racing, here's a toll-free number to call the AQHA, 1-800-414-RIDE.
Wanna play?
Call Urban Assault for the ultimate game of paintball. It's not just a game, it's an adventure.
When the going gets tough, the tough get loony. But when the fate of the Toons lies in a basketball game.
You heard of the Dream Team? Well, we're the mean team.
They call in the big guns. No, the real big guns.
Let's play some basketball.
Can the Looney Tunes, along with Ace B-Ball or Michael Jordan, defeat the Monstars from outer space?
You know that your friends are cartoon characters?
Space Jam.
To order HBO, call 771-8100.
St. Louis will be the setting as the top seniors on tour shoot for over $1 million in prize money. The Boone Valley Classic. Coverage begins Friday at 3, only on ESPN.
It's back to thoroughbred racing now on the Racehorse Digest. Let's head to Del Mar. The Sunday feature as Del Mar starts the final week of its summer season, the Grade 2 Del Mar Breeders' Cup Handicap. It's thoroughbreds straight up, going a mile on the main track. Purse over $200,000. The 4 to 5 favorite, Crafty Friend. Trevor Denman with the call.
And now Benchmarker's starting to wind up, and Benchmarker's coming fast in the white cap on the outside. Heads a turn for home. Crafty Friend getting the better of Northerner Fleet, but can he keep off Benchmark? Benchmark coming home powerfully in the center of the track. Crafty Friend trying to hold him off, but Benchmark running up alongside. A little tap on the shoulder of Benchmark, and Benchmark perfectly timed gets up to beat Crafty Friend. Northerner Fleet was third.
Benchmark, winner of the Grade 2 San Bernardino Handicap in April, and most recently, runner-up to Northerner Fleet in the Grade 3 San Diego Handicap, takes the Del Mar Breeders' Cup by a length. Benchmark, third choice in the field of 5, ran the distance in 1:35 and 2. The 6-year-old bay is by Aladar out of Winter's Love, owned by Mr. and Mrs. Marty Wygod, trained by Ron Ellis. Jockey Eddie Delahousse was up for the win. Paulie DeLassie's Crafty Friend, the favorite in the race, was second, 3 lengths back. Saturday at Belmont Park, the Belmont Breeders' Cup. Open to 3-year-olds and up, a Grade 3 for $200,000, going a mile and a 16th on the turf. Kieran McLaughlin's Soviet Line at 2 to 1 the favorite. Tom Durkin has the call from Belmont.
And Fortitude held in reserve in the early going, swings into action on the far outside. Green Means Go is only 5 lengths from the lead, but he'll have to find a way through. The field turns for home. Gentleman Bow, Soviet Line, Fortitude on the far outside. Voices in between horses. Green Means Go switch to the outside for the run into the last furlong, and Fortitude has taken the lead. It is Fortitude in front. Voices game, and he's coming back. Fortitude and Boys coming down to the line. Green Means Go third, and they're coming down to the finish, and Fortitude wins. Fortitude wins.
Fortitude takes the Belmont Breeders' Cup in 1:38 and 2 and did it in a new course record. The old mark was 1:39 and 1, set way back in 1977 by Fleet Victress. Fortitude is owned by Harbor View Farm, trained by Alan Jerkins. Robbie Davis was on board for the victory. This 4-year-old colt is by Cure the Blues out of Outlasting. The next start for Fortitude, the Grade 2 Kelso Handicap at Belmont, October 18th. The favorite Soviet Line faded to 5th. Out on the West Coast, Del Mar Thoroughbred Club, the 44th running of the $125,000 Grade 3 Palomar Handicap. Fillies and Mares 3 and up. The distance, a mile and a 16th on the turf. The favorite, Ron McAnally's Listening.
Now Chris McCarron niggles at her, and she kicks on gamely. Blushing Heiress the leader. Listening second. Traces a goal next, and then Wheatley Special. Top of the lane in the Palomar. Still Blushing Heiress at the rail. Traces the gold in the white blinkers. Wheatley Special on the outside, and Listening the grey one from the rail. It's Blushing Heiress kicking on smartly though. Blushing Heiress traces the gold and Listening, but it's going to be Blushing Heiress and Chris McCarron to win the Palomar. Length and 3/4, close for second. Traces the gold and Listening.
Blushing Heiress, the daughter of the Brookside Farm stallion Blushing John, adds the Palomar Handicap to a string of wins, including the Grade 2 Wilshire Handicap. This chestnut mare is owned by Marguerite and Thomas Cavanaugh, trained by Danny Hendricks. Chris McCarron's win on Blushing Heiress is 5th stakes pick, the Del Mar meeting this summer. Alex Solis on the favorite Listening finished in 3rd. Now to the Midwest, to Arlington International will take you for the 63rd running of the $100,000 Arlington Handicap. Fillies and Mares, 3 years old and up. 6 going to the post for this mile and an 8th test. Stoner's Side Stables entry of Minister's Melody, the choice at 4 to 5.
Minister's Melody, the second to crack. If you can't plan a dance, and into the stretch, Gold Memory sweeps clear of the matron field. Gold Memory by 2.5. Amy under the whip comes to second. Then Northern Relation and Trick Attack is 4th. Gold Memory at the 8th pole, about to be challenged by Omi. Gold Memory by a head. Omi level now. Omi and Gold Memory battle it out clear of Trick Attack. Omi going home the better. Omi's pulling away to win. Omi, Mark Guidry, 2 lengths to Gold Memory, under length Trick Attack.
The Belmont trained Omi picks up the victory by 2 1/4 lengths in the Arlington Matron. This 4-year-old filly picked up the April 12th Bayakoa Stakes at Oaklawn 4 starts back. She wins this time in 1:51 and 4. Homie is by Wildigan out of Flying Heat. The first-time graded stakes win for the Don Disney-owned filly. The favorite Minister's Melody finished up 6 lengths behind the leader. Now let's take a look at some promising 2-year-olds racing in Florida at Calder Racecourse. This is the Susan's Girl division of the Florida Stallion Stakes. 6 2-year-old fillies going to the post for the $125,000 7-furlong test. Nancy's Glitter, the 3-5 favorite.
It's Nancy's Glitter leading by 1.5 lengths. Toward the inside, Halo, Miss America, Halpern Deb on the outside. They're at the top of the stretch now. Nancy's Glitter opens up 2.5. BK's Notebook comes on down the middle of the track. Then toward the inside, it's Halpern Deb. Then at the rail, Halo, Miss America. They're in the final 16th. It's Nancy's Glitter by a length. BK's Notebook coming on. They come to deep stretch. Nancy's Glitter, BK's Notebook. It's too close to call.
Nancy's Glitter loves an off-track. This was her 4th straight victory in the Slop at Calder Racecourse. She was also victorious in the mud on August 9th in the Desert Vixen, a division of the Florida Stallion Stakes. The Bay Filly by Glitterman is out of Starfire Voyage, trained by Frederick Nibbs. Jockey Pedro Rodriguez piloted her to the victory. The next start for Nancy's Glitter will likely be the My Dear Girl division of the Florida Stallion Stakes on October 4th. Now for the 2-year-old colts running the Affirm division on Saturday at Calder. The first $125,000, the distance 7/8 of a mile. 10 juvenile colts in this one, the 16th running of the Stallion Stakes at Calder.
Less than 1/4 mile to go in the Affirm division of the Florida Stallion Stakes of 1997. On the inside, leading the way home, it's Halos and Horns by 2. On the inside, Valid Belfast comes on second. 1.5 lengths back toward the far outside. It's Sign of a Bird rallying at the rail. Here comes Dr. Spin from last. They're in the final 16th. Halos and Horns trying to hang on. Here comes Valid Belfast. Here's the wire. Halos and Horns takes the Affirm.
Halos and Horns finished second back on August 9th in a maiden race, then won by 3.5 lengths in his next start. The gray by St. Bellato out of Flip for Luck is owned by Harold Kitchen, trained by Ralph Zadie. This 2-to-1 favorite running the distance in 1:25 and 3 on a very sloppy track. It was Halos and Horns' first stakes win of his career. His next start, the October 4th In Reality division of the Florida Stallion Stakes from Calder. Coming up on the Breeders' Cup National Stakes schedule, we've got races coming up this weekend at Belmont Park, New York, and Turfway Park in northern Kentucky.
When we decided to have a baby, we knew we had to stop smoking first.
We had the motivation. We needed the help.
We chose Nicorette gum because it was flexible. Gave us the choice of 2 strengths, one for light smokers, me.
One for heavy smokers, me.
And the power to decide, you know, how much to use and when to use it to fight our cravings.
We've been officially smoke-free for a year now.
And in gratitude, we're thinking of calling the baby Nicorette. It's a joke, honey.
Nicorette gum will help you quit smoking successfully by helping you control your cravings. You can do it. Nicorette can help.
We created Western Pacific Airlines with a very simple formula. First, build a fleet of modern, efficient aircraft. Next, provide low-fare service to great destinations from coast to coast. Then, assemble a hard-working team of experienced professionals whose #1 job is to make flying fun. That's our formula for success. That's Western Pacific Airlines.
Standardbreds now in the spotlight. Welcome back to the Racehorse Digest. I'm Dave Johnson. The Little Brown Jug is traditionally held on the 3rd Thursday afternoon in September at the Delaware, Ohio County Fairgrounds. And the Jug Preview at nearby Scioto Downs in Columbus has become the last major prep race for many of the Jug contenders.
Last Saturday night's 25th Jug Preview drew 25 entries, including 20 Little Brown Jug eligibles. And 3 divisions were held worth $229,000. The first division was headed by the Joe Holloway-trained Red Bow Tie. And the 3 to 10 favorite grabbed the lead past the quarter-mile mark and never looked back.
Bouncing right along, Red Bow Tie continues to lead the way. Couple breakers were Hannes Highlight and King of Crombie. Off the turn, in the stretch, they're on their way home in Division 1. Bouncing right along, it's still Red Bow Tie. Personal Power closing in along the rail, followed by Sneaky Hanover on the rail. Here's the consummate rocking chair drive. Red Bow Tie, Personal Power, Sneaky Hanover third.
The Holloway stable also had the 8-5 favored Megamind in the second division. But Noble Ability was the pace setter and turned for home on top by 2 over Southwest Art.
Drive. They're on their way home. Southwest Art comes off the rail, drives up on the outside, explodes into command. Southwest Art now gets the lead. Noble Ability second, Sea Power third. Southwest Art in Division 2.
The third division was loaded with $500,000 winner Arturo, J.K. Outlaw, and headed by the half-mile track specialist Western Dreamer. To no one's surprise, the 3 to 10 choice Western Dreamer grabbed the early lead and lit up the tote board with blazing fractions, moving past the 3/4 in 1:22 and 3. And when he turned for home, he began to pull away from the field.
Den Arturo on the far outside. J.K. Outlaw between horses. Here comes Western Hero with a lot of work to do. Mike LaChance under confident handling still has Western Dreamer on top. But here comes Arturo. J.K. Outlaw between horses. Arturo, Western Dreamer, Arturo!
Despite his loss, Matthew Patrick and Daniel Daly's Western Dreamer still is the top-rated 3-year-old pacer in North America and the likely Little Brown Jug favorite, with 9 wins and 7 second-place finishes in 21 starts on the season. Woodbine Racecourse held the $258,000 Canadian Pacing Derby for older horses last Friday night, and after getting a perfect trip behind the pace-setting Village Connection the entire way, the 5-year-old sentimental choice, Strong Clan, pulled out of the pocket and stormed down the lane to get up by a neck over slick pavement in a time of 1:51 and 1. Dubbed the Miracle Horse by trainer Stu Furlot after bouncing back from 2 life-threatening surgeries as a 2-year-old, Strong Clan's victory in the 55th Canadian Pacing Derby was the biggest of his racing career. The $131,000 final of the Roses Are Red series last Friday night at Woodbine was of particular interest due to the presence of comebacking Mystical Maddie, last year's 3-year-old champion pacing filly. And making just her 6th start of the season, the 4-year-old looked to be back in fine form as she exploded in mid-stretch to beat Jay's Table by 3 lengths in 1:51 and 4/5. Owned by Bob Glazer's Peter Pan stable, Mystical Maddie won for the 3rd time this season. And driver Mike LaChance said after the race that she just might be better than ever.
Hey, stranger, where you been?
I don't smoke anymore.
Sorry. I mean, great. How'd you do it?
Nicoderm CQ.
CQ? Isn't that the patch with the, 3 steps?
Mm-hmm. I'm doing the steps.
While Nicotrol has only 1 step, CQ has 3. So you gradually step down your dose the way doctors and pharmacists prefer.
Steps, Dad. The way to go.
Nicoderm CQ. The power to calm, the power to comfort, the power to quit successfully.
It's time to meet the challenge. The MBNA America Quarter Horse Racing Challenge. Nominate your horse today for the rest of his life.
Lads, British men
Ball passing Skull Point. Run the cannon. Arr, I can see my room from here. Let me show you my Vegas. Nice enough to light the whole place up for me. First time to Vegas? Yes. And you?
My third. My 44th trip.
Winner, winner, lobster dinner.
Tomatillo.
People are so excited.
Mine's the blue convertible. And you, my lad, have to walk the plank. No need to spit. Anything, all the time. That's Las Vegas.
Tomorrow night, if Alabama takes Vandy lightly, that'd be a mistake. A couple times they've gone into Music City and almost faced the music.
Alabama Vanderbilt. Tomorrow night at 8, only on ESPN.
The Racehorse Digest is being brought to you by the United States Trotting Association, leading the way in harness racing. Doubletree Hotels and Guest Suites with over 200 locations worldwide. Call 1-800-222-TREE. By Gainsborough Farm. And by Western Pacific Airlines with low-fare Boeing jet service, the city's coast to coast. In our Brookside News Thoroughbred update, the site for next year's Breeders' Cup. Breeders' Cup 1998, the championship day of racing, was announced this past week by the president of Breeders' Cup Limited, Mr. D.G. Van Cleef.
And on behalf of all of us associated with the Breeders' Cup, I take great pride in announcing that on November 7th, 1998, the Breeders' Cup Championship will return to Churchill Downs.
Racing's Championship Day returns for the 4th time to Churchill Downs in Louisville, Kentucky, a record for a host site. Previously, the Downs had hosted Breeders' Cup Days in 1988, 91, and 94. The most recent setting a still Breeders' Cup Day record crowd of 71,671. This year's Breeders' Cup set for November 8th at Hollywood Park in Inglewood, California. Well, one of the world's great centers for thoroughbred racing, Arlington International Racecourse outside Chicago, Illinois, has announced it is withdrawing its application for 1998 racing dates and will close next year. Track owner Dick Duchossois contends his track has lost close to $70 million over the last 8 years because of competition from riverboat gambling, casinos, and other forms of entertainment. The track, the host of one of the great turf races in the world, the Arlington Million. Duchossois threatened to close Arlington in 1995 before Governor Jim Edgar agreed to form a task force to study the racing situation in Illinois. It is still hoped something can be worked out with the state before the Illinois Racing Board meets on the 26th of this month. California thoroughbred owner and breeders John Toffin and Trudy McCaffrey were honored this past Friday night as the State Breeder of the Year nationally by the Thoroughbred Owners and Breeders Association. The Toba Awards dinner was hosted by Ben Walden's Winery near Midway, Kentucky. Toffin and McCaffrey's homebred Free House, a big part of this year's Triple Crown Series, is by their stallion Smoker, one of the great success stories in racing. Bobby Keeneland's September thoroughbred yearling sales got off to a fast start Monday night when a Mr. Prospector colt was sold for a record $2.3 million. The gray colt out of a multiple Grade 1 winning mare, Mrs. Mirage, was purchased by Satish Sanan, a native of India who now lives in Florida. Another record was also set Monday for the highest priced yearling filly sold at the Keeneland September sale, as Demi O'Byrne purchased a Danzig filly out of the Aladar mare I'm Sweets for clients Michael Tabor and John Magner. The sale continues at Keeneland through September 17th. Our Racing to the Breeders' Cup Series continues this Saturday. Our coverage of the $1.5 million Kentucky Cup Day of Champions. That's Saturday, 5 to 6, here on ESPN. Ground transportation provided by Thrifty Car Rental with airport and neighborhood locations worldwide. For reservation, call your travel agent or 1-800-4CAR. Air transportation provided by Western Pacific Airlines. You'll enjoy Western Pacific's young and colorful all-Boeing jet fleet, and you'll love their low fares to cities coast to coast. The Racehorse Digest has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.